Hello and thank you for stopping by. This is Where's Waldo for the NES, developed by Bethesda and published by THQ for the NES in 1991. Saying that aloud seems a little odd to me, just because THQ I believe no longer exists, and Bethesda, over the past 20 years or so, they went on to make very different games. Like Fallout, Doom, yeah, very different. Anyway, the first thing I notice about this game is the startup text that starts when you load the game. The text clearly states at the top, "Where's Waldo?" without an apostrophe. I kinda figured there would be a proofreader for the initial splash text, but here we are. This game is based on the children's book of the same name. They're clever children's books that would have you scouring colorful pictures that are filled with these little cartoon people doing different things, and you're looking for one specific person out of this whole collection. Waldo, of course. He's this distinct-looking little guy with blue pants and a white and red striped shirt. He's got glasses and a little red winter hat on. This is his trademark, this is his distinct look, and if you've ever seen one of the books, they're clever and they're cute and fun to look at. Here we have a game based on the exact same property, with the same rough premise to locate the character of Waldo. You're trying to get to the moon in this game for some reason, and to get there you need to get through 8 different levels. Most levels are picture searches, just like the books, though the graphics in this game are not great. There have been actually many criticisms on how bad this game actually is, mostly around how hard it is to actually locate Waldo. I found him multiple times, and each time I've wondered when I press that button if I've actually found him at all. The color palette for the game is so similar when you're looking at it, it's really rough to tell Waldo apart from others. The manual for this game, the cover of the manual has way better color differentiation than the actual game itself. In this game, just too many things blend. There's just not enough color variation. Also, this game was trying to be clever on the medium and hard difficulties, and they mention that they might change the colors of Waldo to make it more difficult. What? Why would you do that? Waldo's whole thing is that he's got this unique-looking outfit in specific colors. Now we're not really trying to find Waldo, we're trying to find some little sprite that sorta looks like Waldo with totally different colors, maybe? Whatever. Very strange thing to do. So you start the game and you select a difficulty, normal, medium, or hard. There are 8 different levels here, or games actually, where you need to find Waldo, and 3 of these are actually mini-games that are not the same as finding Waldo in a picture. The whole Waldo concept is to find Waldo in a static image. Here they've gone off and done their own thing. These games feel like a total waste of time, and I think they would have been better off with just having more standard pictures in there. So let's talk about the pictures. The difficult setting you select will determine exactly how large the picture is. If you choose normal, the full screen is displayed in front of you. You choose medium or hard, the picture goes beyond the borders of this initial screen, and you'll have to scroll off to see the whole image. In conjunction with the difficulty setting, there's a time limit. The harder the game, the less time you have. So you scour the image using a square reticle, and when you think you have Waldo in that box, you press the A button to guess. If you get it right, you get a chime and move on to the next level. If you don't, you lose time off your time meter, so you can't just run around pressing at random, or you're going to lose all your time. To do well and get to the end of this game, you need to be fast at searching and good at picking Waldo out of the crowd as fast as possible. There are 3 different minigames that are different than these picture find games, and for the most part, they're all pretty terrible. You'll need to look for Waldo in the dark with a flashlight. Flashlight, okay. If you catch a glimpse of him, just press your button to continue. I hate the level. It's clunky. It's awful. There's also a minigame where you have to travel through a subway maze and pick up Waldo's glasses, apparently. I played this maze before reading the manual and I beat it. I went through the maze, found Waldo, then a couple more icons. I wasn't even paying attention to what they were. I went through the maze and found the icons, and suddenly the level was over and I was moving on. Then I read the manual, and now this minigame makes even less sense to me. I don't want to do this level in the first place, and I would have preferred another standard picture find. I don't know how this one is supposed to be beaten, all I know is I did it. The manual's confusing. There's a final minigame on the moon too, apparently, but I've not gotten that far. The manual says you need to match 3 pictures of Waldo to beat the level, and it does not sound fun at all. Now seriously, I know I'm an adult and this is a kid's game, but really, the whole Waldo thing is supposed to be very simple. There is a large picture with cute little clever cartoon stuff going on inside. Now go find Waldo. Seriously. They could have just digitized existing books and put them up on screen and it would have worked better. That would have at least met the expectations of what people think of when there's a Where's Waldo game. I like how they set the difficulty to adjust the size of the map, and they shrink the time limit. I guess that makes sense. That's a pretty good idea, and I think it's a reasonable way to make the game more difficult. The minigames, we could do without them entirely. Absolutely. I also like the rough concept of how they created the images. I mean, they're not a good quality here, but they created segments of images in such a way where they could be randomized for each playthrough. That's a pretty good idea, I guess, for a property like this. Because if you don't randomize the images, you would really only be able to do this once, because then you'd know where he is, and you'd never have to hunt for him again. So to be able to break it up in small pieces and have them sort of change every time, I think that's a decent way to do it. The colors, however, not so good. The graphics are representing small characters. It's supposed to be little tiny characters, and the technology in the game here, I just don't think there's good enough resolution or color palette to really make this work. The Waldo books, they're these big oversized picture books. All the characters were these little tiny characters on the page, so you really had to search through all these to find Waldo. And as you looked for him, you encountered tons of little stories represented by other characters doing something. We get almost none of that charm here. Now, I didn't pay more than a few dollars to get this one on the collection, and that's a good thing. I got it because I recognized the property, and I'd heard people grumbling about it online, so I figured why not. It's neat to pop in and give it a look, I suppose, but it's not something I'm going to spend any serious time on. Maybe a real Waldo fan would appreciate it more? I don't know. Well, that's all I have for Where's Waldo for the NES. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time.